Hello Pokemon fans, this is ProPokeNoob back today to bring you another battle, immediately recording after such a crappy Pokemon TCGO experience. Good God, I got completely destroyed and made completely embarrassing plays and got really terrible matches, so that fell through. So I'm like, hey, I got some showdown battles, why don't I bring you some? You know, that's kind of the whole point of this channel mainly, but other than pure enjoyment and fantasticness listening to my voice. And I have some Oreo chunks stuck in my teeth. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Little Cup match against a person by the name of Tenko. If my voice sounds a little crackly, my nose is a little stuffed, I have watery eyes, so if I accidentally mistake a Slowpoke for, let's say, an Alakazam, don't worry about it. That's either just the hallucinogenic drugs coming in, or I'm just completely blind and going a little delirious. I think at this point, both are in effect. Regardless, I'm using my Little Cup Sand Team, the one that's cheap, and you just go on the ladder and get pretty much free points. That's a joke. People are good at the people are actually good, and I'm not the greatest, but I know how to play, and I love this team. And you know, as much as I hate to say it, Sand, as stupid as it is, it's good. Like, weather in itself is just good. But, Hail leaving Aryu is another topic that I could talk about, but that's for a different upload. Hopefully I can get the webcam going, because why not? We'll come back, because you people are excited about that. But this is too long of an intro. My opponent is also running a Sand team of a different type. He's got the Slowpoke Fungus combo, which is basically mirroring its adult pain in the asses. But he's got the Mienfoo, he's got the Murkrow. Fairly threatening team. Mainly I just have to watch for Drillbur. As long as I can get my Drillbur in, if he's running Adamant, I'm at a lot more threat than if he's running Jolly, because Jolly does about 20% less with an Earthquake than Adamant does. So usually they run Adamant because it has Sand Rush, which I think does 90% to the opponent's Drillbur, whereas mine will only do 74% because I like to run Jolly and outspeed. So as long as I get my Drillbur in and do as much damage as I can before his Drillbur comes in and does a lot of damage, or if I just effectively handle it with Chinchou, burn it, or just put it to sleep with Shelmet, I should be okay. Anyways, in the ways of leads, his team looks very walled by Shelmet. Not walled, but Shelmet looks like to be the one who could basically scout and deal with any of the opponent's Pokemon. So I'm just going to lead off with Shelmet. He decides to lead off with Mienfoo. This is an excellent time for me to check to see whether or not it is Choice, Life Orb, anything like that. He goes for Fake Out, confirming he is not Choice unless he's Choice Banded with Fake Out, but he's going to go for the U-turn. I don't see Life Orb Recoil, I don't see Choice, so I don't know really what it is. Maybe Focus Sash, maybe Lumberry, not sure. But he is going to go into Murkrow, and he has the Insomnia Murkrow. So I don't know if he predicted the Yawn or what, but he came in at a perfect time. I'm going to switch into my Chinchou. He goes for a Drill Peck, gets a crit, kind of unfortunate, kind of not. He goes into Mienfoo, though, and I'm going to get the Revenge Burn with the Skull. So, I mean, it's all made up. Not really. That's unfair hacks. I mean, crit for a burn on the Mienfoo is kind of a pain in the butt. But I know he's going to go for Fake Out. Just going to leave this thing in because even though I'm a specially defensive wall, he's burned. He's not going to do anything. Look at that Drain Punch. Does absolutely nothing. I'm going to go for another Scald as opposed to Rest. I thought about Rest, but I'm like, nah, let's try and do damage. And I get a crit. So Mienfoo handled. Don't have to worry about that this match. He's going to go into Murkrow. Pulls out the HP Grass is what I'm thinking at this point. Wow, HP Grass. Son of a gun. That is good against enemy or opposing Sand teams. That's a good idea. Kudos, sir. But I'm going to go for the T-Wave because I have the Prankster. I know I'll move first. He's going to go for Drill Peck. I'm just going to go for safe Drill Peck. He switches into Hippopotas, gets the Sand up. I wanted him to set it up before me because I don't want to be stuck in with my Hippopotas and get walled or just get tricked into Rocks or whatever. I'm going to send Shelmet in before Rocks. If he had gone for Toxic, which is very viable against Murkrow and Shelmet, would have been in a worse position. But he goes into the Drillbur right before it gets Spikes up. I wanted to get Spikes up for Drillbur as well as Fungus and Thingamajig. Slowpoke. Why did I say Thingamajig? I don't know. I'm going to go for the Yawn, though. Force this thing out. I don't want this thing staying in. He is Life Orb. I luckily take it like a man. All the rocks falling on Shelmet's head. Oh my god. If you haven't ever used a Shelmet, even like level 100 Shelmet with Eviolite, it's monstrous. Its defense goes up to like 460 something. It's monstrous. But this thing is really good in Little Cup. Anyways, a little bit behind. Fungus goes for the Spore. Don't care. I wanted this thing to be Sleep Fodder. I'm going to switch out into Trollbeak. Hoping that he can't do too much damage, but he actually makes his own switch out. Goes into Drillbur. This is kind of bad. But I know I have the Prankster. I can go for Roost. I can most likely take an unboosted Rock Slide. And as you can see, does less than Roost. No problem. Still does a lot, though. Excuse me, I need a drink because I'm losing air. But I'm going to go for Roost as he goes for the Swords Dance. Kind of threatening, so I'm like, okay, time to pull out the Sucker Punch. Need to do as much damage as possible, so Life Orb will take him to a point where he can't do anything. As you can see, he can only get 2 hits off, but he misses the Rock Slide. Big deal. It is. It is. But now he's going to switch to his own Murkrow. I knew he would either go for Swords Dance or Switch, so I just go for Drill Peck, catches Murkrow on the Switch. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. I go for the Drill Peck, and he goes for Drill Peck, gets a crit, and I'm going to be killed by a Sandstorm. So it's just kind of a whole bunch of different types of hacks going on here. But I mean, it makes the game more interesting. It did make the match a little bit more like, okay, now what do I do? But now I know, unless he has Roost, I can just go for Stealth Rocks, and it's just going to screw over his team even more. He goes for the HP Grass, is when I confirm it's Grass. But I figured it was Grass, just, I don't think he'd be running HP Ground, that's kind of silly. But, take out the Murkrow with the Sand. Slowpoke comes in. I figured if this is going to be his Wall Core with the Fungus, then it's going to be a defensive one. It is! Goes for a Scald, but again, Hippopotas, dude, my walls just don't want to be taken below 5%. It's amazing. So I'm going to go for the Slack Off. As long as he doesn't get a crit or a burn, I can stay in here and keep doing this all day. Rack up the Toxic and the Sandstorm on the Slowpoke. Force him to get Regenerator, as I just did. He's going to switch into Fungus. I don't care if he comes in for free. I need to get the Slack Off and get this. Wow, what am I trying? I'm going to say Slack Off on the Slack Off. Hey! But he gets me with the double status. That I was going to go into Abra, like, okay, he's got a Giga Drain. Nope, he goes for the Stun Spore. Beautiful play on his part. But he goes for the Giga Drain, and I get paralyzed. So, Abra not being able to pull any of this out, he's just going to be in there foddering, feeding the Fungus like the scum of the earth that he is. But, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I've got the Fat Boy. The Fat Boy can come in, bait the Giga Drain. I'm just going to immediately switch out into my Sleeping Shelmet just to see how much it's going to do. It doesn't do a lot of damage, which is lucky for me. And I'm going to take another swig of water. 1 second. Refreshing. Okay. Now he fodders off Drillbur. Little questionable to me because he could have saved this for my own Drillbur if he was fearing it. If he's not fearing it, okay, fine. He does have a Hippopotas and Slowpoke. That's why I'm kind of thinking maybe he wasn't too worried about losing it. I honestly would have saved it just in case my Drillbur came in. He can get a free switch into one of his walls and then threat me out like Slowpoke. But anyways, it's gone. I still think it's a little questionable, but regardless. He has Whirlwind. I'm going to switch out, going to Hippopotas. Now, I'm not switching into Shelmet, even though Shelmet would be the best thing against Hippopotas. I mean, I'm physically defensive on both my Hippopotas and my Shelmet. But as you can see, now that he brings Shelmet in, I can go for Recovers without him forcing me out. So if I go into Shelmet directly on Hippopotas, and he goes for Whirlwind, I cannot recover off the Stealth Rock damage. This way, if I keep switching into Hippopotas, if he Whirlwinds me into Shelmet, then I'm okay to go for Recovers and I won't be losing all this health and I won't be able to make up for the Stealth Rock damage. He goes for Earthquake at this point. I'm just going to go for Slack Off. As you can see, it's not doing much, but again, he's under toxic pressure. He's not able to keep this up, so he has to switch out, go into his one of the Regenerator people. He goes into Slowpoke as I go for the Earthquake, and no, I go for the Slack Off. That's a complete mistake on my part. No, I'm kidding. But I am going to go for the Earthquake here, and I get a crit. This is big. Because I'm like, don't get a Revenge Burn. Please don't get a Revenge Burn, and he does it. So, that was big because it takes out his Slowpoke, it takes out his Regenerator Core. Really, it would have just dragged this battle out a lot. And I'm pretty sure unless he had switched out, he would have taken a lot of damage just from Earthquake on everyone. I'm going to leave him Hippopotas here on the Fungus on the off chance he wants to go for Spore, but I'm pretty sure he's just going to go for Giga Drain, which he does. But now I'm going to switch into Shelmet. This was kind of risky. I go for Bug Bite because my plan right here was, okay, what I need to do is get Fungus low enough because if he switches it out and gets Regenerator Boost, I'm pretty sure Drillbur can't take it out from a stock or a Swords Dance, and he doesn't have enough time to really, you know, set up in front of a Giga Draining Fungus, no matter how uninvested it is. The problem is I should have gone for Recover instead of Bug Bite, because I luckily wake up, but if I hadn't woken up, I would have been done. Like, this game would have been over, regardless of all the hacks. Fungus would have been healthy enough. He just switches in Hippopotas. I can't take it out. I take Life Orb damage. He switches in Fungus at a healthy, decent stat, and I'm toast. But here I'm just like, okay, well, now that I woke up, luckily, he goes for Spore, as opposed to trying to gain more HP. But he's in a terrible position because he's lost Slowpoke, and because, as you can see, he's trying to get Regenerator, but because of the hazards that I set up, the plan was, well, if I can get enough hazards damage off, Drillbur can come in and kill his stuff off. So that switch kind of pretty much ends the game, because as you can see, a Papatas is going to take way too much damage. It can't last an Earthquake from that range, and then when Foongus comes in, this is where that kill on Drillbur, when he sacrifices Drillbur for no reason, this is where I think it kind of ruined him a bit, because he could have sent it in and gotten a lot more Regenerator bonus off, and if I hadn't gotten the crit on the Slowpoke, then he might have actually potentially been able to take that and then take me out with the Giga Drain. He actually would have taken the match. I can't predict the crit on the Slowpoke, but I can see how that Drillbur fodder kind of mattered. So, to be honest, just based on how I saw the Slowpoke, on how well the Slowpoke took the Earthquake before, then I think that would have been his better bet. But regardless, I'm not going to hit on this guy. That was an excellent match, Tengo. Comment, rate, and subscribe, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this battle. This was a higher up match, actually, that I had. I actually went on the ladder, and I tried to get points for you, ladies and gentlemen, so I could get a higher quality match, and I think I did. But I mean, it's not in the quality of the match, it's in the quality of the voice that talks behind it. That's just my excuse for my faults. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. A quick thing to mention, next Monday I start school again. You guys are already in school, congratulations, have fun. But I'm going to be going to school starting Monday, so uploading again like it always does is the past, for the past year. It can go one of two ways. I can upload a lot more because I have just mainly time for Pokemon. I can't play my other games because the other games take too long, or I just have time for Pokemon. I can play Pokemon at school, or it can go down the dumps where basically I'm just scrounging for battles and hopefully getting out a match every week or every 2 weeks. But regardless, not only your patience but your commitment to just wanting to watch my stuff is more than enough for me to keep going. I'm not going to be ending because of school. I'm not going to try and slow down. I haven't gotten bored. I have gotten a little deterred just because, you know, I have these teams, and I mean, I get like I always say, you can only lose so much before you just have to take a step back and walk away and play something else, right? But hang in there. I'm trying to get uploads. I think I'm definitely in need of a GTS and a PMP beta battle. I did actually want to put this one up, but I figured the #1 comment's going to be, ooh, there's too much hacks. And you know what? People forget that Pokemon has hacks. That's you know, kind of the unpredictable nature. And honestly, I like battles that have unpredictable consequences that, you know, shift the battle and make people think a little bit differently, like this one kind of did. So, I don't know. I wanted to do it, but I'm thinking, people are just going to complain. They're going to come to me and be like, oh, you're just one of those pure entertainment noobs who don't do anything in the metagame and don't teach me anything about Pokemon and smoke my cigar. Stuff like that. I don't know why I said smoke my cigar. I don't know. You know what? I'm in the delirious rambling state. So I think this is a good time to end the upload, and I will get some sleep, and I will bring you guys another coherent upload, hopefully. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and have an excellent day. Peace.